Have you ever been worried about the world ending? Ever thought a supervolcano might erupt and destroy all of humanity? Or that artificial intelligence might rise up and overthrow us? If so, this just might be the video for you. We take a look at 10 ways the world could end. From huge asteroids wiping us out to Trump pressing that big red button. Number 10. Yellowstone. Yellowstone is one of the world's largest supervolcanoes. Located in Yellowstone National Park, which is in the northwest corner of Wyoming in the United States, the supervolcano last erupted 630,000 years ago, and scientists predict it's due to erupt again soon. But before you get too worried, soon in geological terms is anywhere between now and the next 10,000 years. But let's say Yellowstone erupts tomorrow. What would happen to the world if this supervolcano blew its load? Chances are we would have a pretty decent warning, as scientists are monitoring Yellowstone constantly. That warning could be anywhere between a few weeks to a few days, but that should theoretically be enough time for most people to get away. However, this would be one of the largest evacuations the world has ever seen. Millions of people from a large part of the country will be trying to leave, most likely leading to untamable traffic jams and pure chaos, not only on the roads, but in all the areas that will be directly impacted by the eruption. The United States would have to deal with tens, perhaps even hundreds of millions of refugees, and that is before the volcano has even erupted. When the supervolcano does erupt, it's predicted to literally wipe the states of Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho completely off the map. After it explodes, a thick layer of ash would fly over a vast amount of the continent, rendering around 2/3 of the United States uninhabitable, and covering it with layers of ash around 4 inches thick. This alone would effectively mean the end of the United States as we know it. But there's more. As time passes and the ash and debris from the volcano travel around the world, it's predicted that it would alter planet Earth's climate as we currently know it, plunging us all into a volcanic winter that would more than likely last around 10 years. And as you can imagine, that's a very bad thing. An event like this would descend our entire planet and species into collapse. Industries and stock markets all around the world would crash. And most scarily, the volcanic winter would destroy our planet's ability to produce food. Crops would not grow, animals would have nothing to eat, and most of us would go very hungry. And to end number 10 on a cheery note, experts predict it would take just 2 weeks without access to food for our entire global society to completely collapse. Number 9. Biotech disaster. Biotechnology is the use of living systems and organisms to develop or make products, and we've been using biotechnology for thousands of years in agriculture, food production, and medicine. However, in recent times, we've been taking biotechnology to the next level, possibly dabbling in potentially calamitous areas. Scientists and biotech engineers around the world are currently working on a vast array of subjects with the general intention of advancing humanity. But all it could take is for one slip up or one person with the wrong intentions, and planet Earth could be plunged into a biotech disaster. Think Planet of the Apes or 28 Days Later, but maybe not quite as cinematic. A bioengineered disease or virus could ravage life on Earth, and we wouldn't know how to treat or eradicate it as it could possibly be something we've never seen or even encountered before. Number 8. Asteroid. Meteors are chunks of dust, rock, iron or ice that fly through space. Whenever you see a shooting star in the night sky, it's actually a meteor coming close to Earth. Most meteors that come close to Earth burn up in our atmosphere due to their small size. However, asteroids are meteors' larger brothers, and very occasionally, asteroids make it through and impact our planet. Perhaps one of the most notorious was the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Scientists think it was roughly 10 kilometers or 6 miles across. This impact created a truly huge explosion, and a crater around 180 kilometers or 110 miles across. Debris from the explosion was thrown into the atmosphere, severely altering Earth's climate, leading to the extinction of roughly 3/4 of species that existed at the time, including dinosaurs. In October 2017, an asteroid the size of a house will shave past Earth, narrowly missing all our planet's orbital satellites. Astronomers are pretty certain this asteroid won't collide with Earth. But how long until one does? And what do we do if we find out an asteroid is heading right for us? Let me know in the comments down below how you think we could stop an asteroid from impacting our planet. I can't wait to read your replies. Number 7. Nuclear war. Around 70 years ago, 2 nuclear weapons were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These 2 bombings killed at least 129,000 people and remain the only use of nuclear weapons for warfare in history. The photos you see on screen are real photos of the atomic mushroom clouds over Hiroshima on the left and Nagasaki on the right. As you've probably heard, nuclear war is back in the news. Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un are deeply embroiled in a fresh bout of nuclear rhetoric. North Korea have declared they now have the capability to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, at the United States, which means for the first time in history, North Korea might just have the ability to nuke the US mainland. As you can imagine, Donald Trump does not like that. But instead of trying to calm the situation, Trump said if North Korea made any more threats, they would be met with fire and fury. For obvious reasons, this type of language is very scary. Even a small nuclear war would most likely send the entire planet into pure chaos. People at the center of the bomb would literally be vaporized into dust. All buildings surrounding the area would be destroyed for miles, and the radiation would lead survivors to have severe genetic mutations and cancer. Fallout from the mushroom cloud would spread to neighboring regions and countries, spreading toxic radiation all over the world. We currently have over 15,000 active nuclear bombs across our planet, and hundreds of thousands more deactivated bombs from the Cold War that could easily be reactivated by the right people. It would take just 100 nuclear explosions to plunge our planet into a severe nuclear winter, destroying our ability to grow food and raise animals. Experts predict a small nuclear war like this would lead to at least 2 billion people dying of hunger. So I think it's best for everybody if we never use those nukes. Number 6. AI. The rise of artificial intelligence refers to the hypothetical scenario in which artificial intelligence, or AI, becomes the dominant form of intelligence on Earth, with computers or some form of robotics effectively taking control of the planet. Possible scenarios include the replacement of the entire human workforce, a takeover by a super intelligent AI, or the popular science fiction notion of a robot uprising. Some rather notable public figures, such as Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk, have warned of the possible threat AI could pose to humanity. They advocate for humans to research precautionary measures to ensure future super-intelligent machines remain firmly under the human control. Now, this all seems rather hypothetical, but experts predict by 2029 we would have created artificial intelligence that could outsmart any human in every field. If this happens, it will lead to a technological revolution beyond our imagination. But if we're not careful, it could lead to the downfall of mankind. And now, if a super intelligent computer is somehow watching this video in the future and is also planning on taking over the world, I would just like to let you know, Mr. Computer, I've always loved super intelligent AI. I think you're great, very smart, good looking as well. Please don't kill me. Please. Number 5. Overpopulation. There are currently 7.5 billion people living on our Earth, and counting. Many people think this is already too many and unsustainable in the long term, but each day, more and more humans come into this world. By 2023, we are estimated to hit 8 billion, and by 2050, we are said to hit 10 billion humans. As of today, 800 million people go hungry every day. 900 million don't have clean drinking water. 2.3 billion, which is around 1 in 3, don't have a decent toilet to use. And around 300,000 children under the age of 5 die each year due to poor water and sanitation. That's 800 children under 5 years old dying every day, or about 1 child every 2 minutes. If this is what the world is like with 7.5 billion humans, just imagine what it will be like with 8 billion or 10 billion. There is no easy answer or solution to this great problem. The insane thing is, we currently produce enough food on Earth to feed over 12 billion people. It's just that food isn't getting or being used in the right places. We in the West especially waste a huge amount of food. Just take a look at the modern cow. They don't eat grass anymore. We feed them grain, beans and corn. Food we humans could eat and be healthy on. A cow converts food at a ratio of around 15 to 1, meaning for every 15 pounds of food you feed a cow, you only get 1 pound back in the form of meat. There are countless other problems just like this one we need to tackle if we want to avoid a catastrophe by overpopulation. Number 4. Antibiotic resistance. Humanity is currently collaborating to inadvertently create one of the world's most devastating superbugs that could kill hundreds of millions of people and completely alter the path of humanity. Antibiotics are a type of antimicrobial drug used in the treatment and prevention of bacterial infections. These drugs either kill or inhibit the growth of these bacterial infections. Antibiotics revolutionized medicine in the 20th century. Together with vaccinations, antibiotics have led to the near eradication of disease in the developed world. However, the effectiveness and easy access have also led to their overuse, prompting the rise of antibiotic resistance. The World Health Organization classified antimicrobial resistance, or otherwise known as antibiotic resistance, as a serious threat that is no longer a prediction for the future, but a reality. Antibiotic resistance is already happening and could potentially impact anyone of any age in any country around the world. The problem is we are overusing antibiotics by so much that the bacteria these drugs are designed to fight are starting to adapt and change, leading our antibiotics to become less effective by the day. Every day we carry on abusing antibiotics is a day closer to the creation of a superbug that cannot be controlled with our current medicine. A superbug like this would most likely kill hundreds of millions of people, set back humanity decades, and possibly even end life as we know it. Currently, in modern medicine, antibiotics are used as a preventative measure rather than a treatment. We need to stop this. Antibiotics need to become a last resort drug when there are no other options for treating a confirmed bacterial infection. Humanity's demand for these drugs are not just the only problem here. 2/3 of all antibiotics are fed to animals that will be raised for slaughter. To meet the demand for cheap meat, animals are held in truly horrible conditions, where farmers ram as many animals into the smallest space possible. This not only creates a living hell and a truly torturous condition for the animals forced to live there, but it also creates the perfect breeding ground for disease, which is why they are given such large amounts of antibiotics as standard. Lazy and greedy animal farmers are risking the very future of humanity just to make a little bit of extra profit. Experts predict that these antibiotic-resistant superbugs will more than likely be born and bred in one of these countless factory farms around the world. And as 95% of all farmed animals are bred in factory farms, chances are we'll first contract these superbugs from animal products. And once a superbug is out there, it will take just weeks, if not days, to become a global threat. There are over 100,000 flights every day, meaning we've created the perfect system for a superbug to go truly global. Number 3. Someone unplugs the simulation. Now this is really more of a joke one, but possible at the same time. For those of you that don't know, the simulation hypothesis proposes that reality is in fact a simulation, most likely a computer simulation. The idea, in relatively simple terms, I think, is that as technology advances, someday we most likely will be able to create a full simulation of our universe, and within that simulated universe would potentially be humanity and life. If we can create a simulation indistinguishable from reality, then there is a chance we ourselves are living in a simulation created by someone else or something else. And if someone else has created our existence from a simulation, they effectively could just unplug it or shut it down one day, instantly ending life as we know it. Number 2. Climate change. Climate change is quite possibly the most unsettling item on this list, because it is not a hypothetical scenario. It is already happening, and we are already seeing its impact on our planet. Despite this fact, many people still don't even believe in climate change. But the thing they forget is that it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It's still happening, and it still will have a huge impact on everyone's life, including you. One thing the media have been quite bad at is showing how climate change is going to directly impact people's daily lives. Climate change is a huge international humanitarian crisis that we are all just happily walking into. As the planet gets hotter and weather patterns become more erratic and extreme by the year, it puts our ability to sustain ourselves under serious threat. Already today, California is in a major drought, putting its ability to grow food under threat. Parts of Florida and Atlantic City are flooding due to sea level rises. There are massive forest fires raging across our planet like we've never seen before. And there are literally islands where people used to live in the Pacific that have disappeared due to rising seas. If it's like this today, imagine how bad it will be in 10, 20 or 30 years. Coastal cities will flood. We'll find it harder and harder to grow food each year, and extreme weather will ravage all parts of the world. If we do nothing about it in our lifetime, probably within the next 30 years, climate change has the very ability to destabilize human civilization as we know it. And the longer we leave it, the worse it gets. To end, Robert Swan, who's an explorer and an author, gave a great quote that I think we all should think about. He said, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." Number 1. The snowball effect. Now, before you get worried, this isn't a huge snowball that might somehow destroy Earth. It's the idea that Earth and humanity as we know it won't end from just one of these things, but most likely a combination. It could be Yellowstone erupting, or nuclear war that destabilizes our climate, plunging us into a nuclear or volcanic winter. Then due to the effects of climate change and overpopulation, it will be even harder for us to produce enough food for all of humanity, potentially leading to the end of us. The point of this one is to highlight that there are a lot of things that could go wrong. Far more than I could fit on this list. And if any of them do happen, it will most likely trigger the others, making it all far worse. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Bit of a depressing video, I know, but also very interesting at the same time, I think. I learned a lot making this video, and I hope you did too watching it. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, as it really helps me out. Comment down below what you think. Is the world going to end? Do you think any of these things might actually happen? Or is it all just a load of rubbish and we shouldn't worry? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Subscribe to EatMyClick for more videos just like this one. I hope you really enjoyed it. And whilst you're here, why don't you check out some more of our other videos? I'll link them on screen now. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.